in a 0-2 fashion, right, Avery?
It depends who you ask, but I tend to agree, yeah.
I think the Liquid fans behind me wouldn't mind, but...
Yeah, there's a lot of Liquid fans in this arena right now, so they would definitely not mind.
I don't know, maybe we can test the crowd. What do you think? You guys want to hear a 2-0 or do you want to get a 2-1? You want to see a game 3? That's what I want to hear right there. But are Gaming Gladiators going to be able to do it, Avery? They picked up the lone druid. They trust in Ace. I feel like if anybody on this team you're going to trust to carry the game, I feel like Ace has been rock solid for them all year. Why not?
Not a bad option to go to, right? Give them like actual carry here. They can push objectives, take the pace. You're looking for that diffusal harpoon build. It's going to be pretty terrifying in the fights if he gets away with it and just has his way. Yeah, I kind of agree with the panel's assessment. Like, this is another draft from Gaming where if the lanes go well for them, if they get these solo matchups, the Razor versus the Tide, the Lone Druid gets a lot of solo XP, they can run away with it again. They're kind of just going all in on these like lane domination into the tempo, going higher around 25-30 minute mark. Liquid, they're going to present the same type of formidable ball against them. Luna back on the menu, and of course Tide and Kunkka to just buffer up with the Pugna behind. It's a very similar setup, right? So Gaming know what's coming. They're trying to address it a bit differently. Razor's one of these carries where we saw Dyrachyo suffer last game with the Bloodseeker versus the Luna matchup. I think Razor can do very well versus Hero. If you get fast BKB, you just run in. Luna sometimes not ready for you. You suck all his damage away. What happens when the 4 protect 1 is protecting a 1 with no DPS?
Yeah, I love the, like, I've always called Razor kind of an anti-carry in that regard, that he just latches onto the enemy carry and negates them entirely. Especially the way Dyrachyo got ruined by the shard pickup of Luna. Those glaives were destroying him. Here we've got a range hero, but also takes away the attack damage of the Luna. You make a good point. Honestly, I feel Gaming Gladiators have a really nice setup here. The panel definitely focused on that, the fact that Razor may not be the best hero in the meta right now, but it is a good late Razor game.
I mean, of course, Matu is on the panel, so you have to pick Lone Druid. You know, get that bias in your direction. Doesn't hurt. But a lot does come down to the first 10 minutes here. And we saw Liquid go toe-to-toe with Gaming in that game 1. Now, Gaming came out a little bit ahead on
Dyrachyo, you can't be forward to die already in this lane, but he does.
That is not a kill I expect. This is a double range lane versus a Tide with Gush level 1, and you just find a first blood that easily versus Plasma Field. Razor's not that squishy of a hero. Hero's good stats, decent armor. This is supposed to be the last pick lane matchup that goes Gaming's way. So Liquid just immediately strike on these lanes, get a really nice start for Boxy, who is on that Pugna this time instead of Insania. So this is a hero that Liquid's very confident playing 4 and 5. They just like the heals and the sustain the hero brings to the table. Not really caring about any of the counter matchups, and it had a decent amount of impact game 1.
He's going to take a lot of damage here too. The Plasma Field does keep, well, it doesn't actually stop Boxy. Boxy's like, I don't care about you, Razor. I'm going to chase down Celery to the ends of the earth if need be.
Might get him here.
Yeah, he's going to be routed a little bit. He's going to back away. Does leave Tide alone in the 1v1, and that's not where he wants to be. He does not want to be in a situation where he's just a simple melee hero against the Razor, but Celery does get run down eventually. Boxy claims the 2nd kill of the game.
Already 2-0 for Mr. Pugnaman, and yeah, Zai did get punished on the backswing. That's the downside. He also went for the fast boots here, which means a little less region on this bottom lane.
Yeah, Gladiators, is going to be enough. The final shot, not quite. Insania does hit his level 2, and Nature's Attendance keeps him up just enough.
This is a scary safe lane for Liquid to play going into that like 5 to 10 minute mark. If they get a lot of XP on Ace here, I can see him kicking Mickey out, particularly off a rotation from the Pangolier mid. If Quinn gets some runes, it's going to help accelerate these side lanes a lot. That's normally what they look to do with the Pango.
Oh, Quinn.
Double water rune?
If he dodges the torrent, he gets the 2nd water rune. So that is a big buff for him. Almost losing his courier, but it's fine.
Well, the creeps, they won it.
Well, does mean he misses out on 1 CS there, but probably worth it, seeing as the Kunkka versus melee matchup is usually a bit of a game of sustain.
Okay, surely if Gaming go out, not that I'm cursing them.
No, of course not. Got a little bit of fight in top lane first.
If he goes out on Pango of all heroes.
You know,
surely
Quinn
there's some
does
iron.
not want to lose on a Pango.
Yeah, I can assure everybody I will never let him live that down personally. And, be interesting to watch, but so far he's doing quite well mid.
Yeah, the millions of dollars wasn't enough motivation. The public humiliation may be too much to bear.
Never underestimate it. He's looking to punish Nisha for the lack of regen. Damn, this is where you wish you could just like roll mid early, but these silings are way too important as Zai getting pushed back again. He's had to buy his own salve. So he's getting a lot of regen abused on this lane, and while that lane looked great for them at the start, this is where that Razor matchup just becomes incredibly painful as you try and get to a ring of health. Boots first. I mean, it's great for dealing with the, you know, not feeding away kills to the Razor. It's not great for staying on the lane. So Liquid running into some regen problems on these lanes as the war of attrition heats up. Gaming starting to strike back.
You know, I want to talk about the versatility of roles here for Liquid. They, you talked about the Pug. Now they swapped it between 4 and 5 this game, but also the Kunkka, right? 3 position for Zai last game, now running mid. What do you think that gives Liquid when they're able to have that kind of versatility in their draft? Do you feel like it gave them an edge somewhere?
I think it's what Blitz talked about. Like the versatility helps you the most in the draft, right? You get to hold these flexes till later, and you can see more lane setups. You're not going to get punished in matchups as hard. You make sure you're winning at least 1.5 or 2 out of the 3 lanes, so you don't get run over. I think that's a big core component that Liquid had to figure out over the course of the year playing against Gaming in all of these grand finals. Right? A lot of those games, not everyone, but a decent amount, Gaming just beat them in the first 10 or 15 minutes so hard that there wasn't any Dota to play.
Yeah.
So if you go even in that phase as Liquid and you get into that mid game like we saw last time, get one good team fight, all of a sudden you can just win a game off that, especially with a hyper carry like Luna that they have shown can be pretty nasty given a lead. And that's what Mickey's going to try and do here again. Now, he doesn't have as many crazy buffs behind him in terms of damage. I really like that Invoker pairing with it, just because I think the control and the alacrity does help you in that end game. But Kunkka and Tide, they're going to give you a lot of extra sustain here. And he doesn't have to worry about as much burst. There's no big Reaper coming out on this Luna this game. It's just going to be the Pango going in with Rolling Thunder.
And it gives you maybe a better winning matchup, but maybe not against the rotation coming out from Celery. Quinn, he needs to be able to hit this swashbuckle to finish off Nisha, but the regen is already kicking into play, so Quinn abandons that idea.
This is just fighting for that 6-minute power rune. I like the fact that Boxy's not letting Gaming get away with bringing more heroes mid on Nisha, especially when Nisha was falling behind in that region department early with the water runes. This lane is completely evened out. They're both very close to 6. I think Nisha's he's gonna hit it off this catapult. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and get a cheeky kill with this boat.
And Quinn, even if he does get it off of 1 or 2 creeps here, he needs more mana.
Oh yeah, they're looking for it just out of range. So decent tower damage. And again, 6-minute power rune. No way Quinn gets this. They will get the boat connection.
Pull him back in with the Decrepify. Healthy amount of burst magic damage. They need the physical swing in from Nisha, and that's going to be denied for the Fire Spirits for now. Nisha can't get a swing in. And thanks to Tofu making his rotation out, makes things a little awkward for Liquid.
Quinn just has no resources here. This is a 3-man rotation for Gaming without any mana on the Pango. You just can't take the fight. And it'll be Arcane Rune into Nisha's pocket. A very nice one to pick up here.
Nikkei in some trouble. Fought for the Lotus. And he will maybe die for it. No, the Lotus is actually what keeps him alive here. Ace also has to rotate back because Boxy was cutting through the river with the other support of Insania.
This is where that solo matchup just, it's a nightmare, right? There's not many carries who can stand one-on-one against the Lone Druid. You need a very specific one. And even in these situations, as long as Mickey can get his XP and eventually retreat the jungle, he's going to be happy. But I do expect both these silents to kind of open up for Gaming over the next few minutes here. This 5 to 10 period is where they become a big nuisance unless you're bringing numbers to combat it. You see Zai, he's still continuing to struggle in this Razor matchup. I mean, he's just hoping he has some Ancient stacks or something to fall back on at this point. It's not going to be one of those high lanes where you get a hammer and just start beating down the tower. This
First rotation coming out from Liquid, double supports, but at the same time, from behind, there is going to be this Pango showing up. If they can finish off Dyrachyo, it'd be worth it, but they can't quite get him. He's hidden away into the trees. Dyrachyo's out of sight, and now Zai gets bumped back. He goes for Insania instead, an easier kill for sure, and Dyrachyo is the one to claim the turnaround kill.
It's just such a hard kill, even with all the supports coming bottom for Liquid. This Razor's way too tanky. I do like the idea though, right? You want to bail out these side lanes in the one-on-one matchup by just bringing numbers, outnumber the core, create a situation where if you get the big kill on these tanky boys, you get so much XP back.
Yeah, so they make a move bottom, and if that doesn't work, make the move on top with Nisha. And Ace doesn't have it level 6, so he's pretty squishy once caught by some disables.
This is exactly what you want to do. Just find these cheeky core pickoffs, because every time you do, you can leave the lane. Now you can leave Mickey top for some solo XP. He'll catch back up, right? And suddenly he doesn't have this Lone Druid pestering him or pushing the tower. Meanwhile, you can just get Boxy room mid. I like these rotations from Liquid. It's giving their cores a lot more breathing room in this early game and nullifying what Gaming want to do, which is isolate the one-on-ones here.
It does come at a cost, though. because it means they give up control of the power runes, right? And Quinn, well, he got an armor rune. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to use that quite as well as some other ones, like an arcane rune, but it is still something to note that Quinn's rotation is going to be all the more powerful.
Yeah, but look at this. Ace round 2.
Ace hit his level 6, but chose not to level up his ultimate. He's doing a lot of damage.
Killing
He has to back away. 1 versus 3. Now they know the rotation is coming in from Quinn. He's to get it with the swashbuckle. Oh, clips Nisha. Not quite finished up Mickey. They'll get the kill on Insania instead. Deep in though, Courier spotted, and they know Nisha is still trying to get out of here. Unfortunately, he's just a bit too quick for Quinn.
That dead shot almost hit Mickey as well. That is very close to losing the Luna and just translating this completely into a rout on the safe lane. Gaming, they read that pretty damn well. The move from Liquid, if you get another kill on Ace there, he has no resummon. He's completely out of the game for a minute. So that is a lone druid you have to protect. You have to smoke them. Make sure Ace can get this tower early. It's the game plan. Let him bulldoze every objective on the map, uncontested, because the Tide Hunter is too poor to contest. If you set that situation up for Ace, he's probably going to run away with it. That's what they're trying to create as the Pine Cone will send a siege shot.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. It is.
You waited all year to hear that one, yeah. Maybe.
Dreams do come true here at TI.
Sometimes.
Nighttime is about to finish up, so that, a little bit of strength they get from the Luna is about to go away. Gaming Gladiators also probably feeling pretty confident with the Pango pretty well on.
And look at these stacks down here. This is an unconventional place to have this many stacks.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. I mean, you wish you were an alchemist right here, but look at another round.
There is plenty of stacks.
For Ratio.
Liquid jungle, their triangle, they also have some, which is something Zai is probably going to need. Or maybe not Zai at all. Maybe Nisha is going to take it, speed along to that Aghanim Scepter. Not taking a pit stop for the Blade Mail, which we've seen so much of. Why do you think that is?
It's just not a great blade mail, right? You can't really reflect anything into this Pangolier that reliably. The Lone Druid doesn't care. The Bear's just healing. The Razor one's okay, but Razor's a fast BKB hero, so it's not necessarily that good for that long in the early game. I kind of agree here. It doesn't strike me as a blade mail game, but it is just a well-rounded hero, or well-rounded item on the hero. Fast Torrent Storm could be interesting. You're not going to buy BKB on Lone Druid. And if you catch the Pango, he also doesn't buy one. So in theory, this Torrent Storm could do some work in the early fights, help you defend towers against the Lone Druid push as well. It's also an item that can sometimes catch the backline, right? You're looking at a Morta Phoenix lineup. If you can catch these 2 supports back there and take them out of the fight, even with a single Torrent.
Oh, they cut it just before the Rolling Thunder gets off, but still, saved by the silence from Tofu, and they could still try and chase down Nisha here. Hit him with the dead shot, push him into the bear. The phase boots chasing after him, slow him down, immediately got entangled, but he did have that illusion rune. Quickly dispels that. Rolling Thunder on its way, the big ball. Hits Nisha once, twice. Ravage, though, on the side, though. No follow-up to this Rolling Thunder. Quinn's going to be left alone now as he's caught in the X. That magic immunity will not last forever, and he's pulled back into his death.
See, he's just going to push up here and give him the vision and maybe just push in the mid-tower. That's how much firepower they have, but that is a well-used Ravage from Zai. Very happy to clean up Ace with his start right. He gets the best start for Gaming, gets the kill with the worst start from Liquid. It's a massive golden XP swing here. And again, Gaming just overextending a little bit. They thought they were the ones that connecting, but Liquid are happy to bring everybody to these tower defense fights, particularly for this tier 1 mid. Because if Gaming get that tower, it opens up a lot of the map for the Lone Druid to occupy, but when he makes that rotation and it fails, Ace gets shut down again on a big objective. And all of a sudden, you have the Luna and the Kunkka leading the pack, which is exactly where you want to be. Ready to take the defensive fights, continuing to get the economy going with stacks on your side. And Mickey, he's going to run away with it again. We saw him do it game 1, right? And that was with a much worse start. Yeah. Here he's leading already pretty early in the game. He has Mask of Madness, he has stacks waiting for him.
I like that. Uses his own illusions to cut the midway, pull it to himself in a safer part of the map, but they're going to try and catch him with this 3-man smoke of Gaming Gladiators.
Still no defusal on the Pango. This is where your skirmish power is a little limited. You get stuck in these long fights versus the boat run, right? That's been one of the biggest problems here. Like, how are you dealing with the damage? Game 1, you had a Reaper to just cut through it before it did its work, but here, this is a very deep smoke, very important smoke for Gaming if they can hit this. They are a little too slow.
Oh, Mickey might walk back into
or
it
are they?
Here.
The greed.
Perfect opportunity. Mask of Madness going up, but Mickey cannot get far away in time. The dead shot. repositions him right into that, not even needing the Rolling Thunder to hit a few times. And Dyrachyo already made this rotation over, so kind of similar to the move that Liquid did earlier with Zai. Came in with the Ravage, they immediately pushed the tower. It looks like Gaming Gladiators can exert some pressure of their own.
Patience pays off there. Mickey just wanted one more Ancient stack, and I'll pay the price. Also, I think the itemization on Gaming, it's interesting, because you went this Midas on Dyrachyo.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, not the BKB rush. He's not going to join some early fights. Another boat on Quinn with Decrep Amping. Whew. See you later.
There's a good reason for the Torn Storm there as well, I guess. When you have a Pugna amping up magic damage, that Torn Storm can actually do a lot.
Turning this hero into a burst hero.
Yeah.
That will keep you out of there. But they went the Midas on the Razor, and they're going Radiance on the Lone Druid for Ace.
Okay.
So this is a classic bear build going back to, what is it, TI3, TI4? Yep. It's very good at the farm acceleration. It'll clear a lot of the map. It'll help them keep the scale and the rate up. It's okay in the fight here too, right? The one downside is you get like a fast pipe on Zai or something, you're going to mitigate some of it. We'll see what they decide to do with the timing, because that's going to be a big one for gaming. You get this Radiance on the Lone Druid, you want to take the fights into the Roshan and get that going, as well as just clearing out more of the map. That tier 1 being up for Liquid is still a big deal. We'll see how much gaming prioritizes, but it looks like they're just giving everything to Ace here, putting everything into this bear, and hoping it wins them that big fight with the Radiance burn. Also, AoE miss chance for the egg.
Yeah.
Never bad. The old Kuroki Radiance coming into play here.
He's going to get that Radiance pretty damn quickly. Liquid seemed more than content. I mean, they're probably looking at this as a repeat of Game 1, where they just sit back. Eventually, that Luna is going to get to a point where she can carry the game. But it does feel like Gaming Gladiators, with the itemization you pointed out, they're definitely playing to scale better than they did in Game 1, right?
Yeah, a bit more security. That's what I feel about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is not just all in. Now, they can hit that really strong timing push around the BKB on Razor and the Radiance on Lone Druid, but it's not like they completely fall off after that. As double damage on Nisha, prompting a Liquid Smoke, looking for the Razor down here with the duo that has bursted cores the whole game. Gonna be an awkward angle. They should get it.
They got him. Magic damage coming in, it's too much.
Man, this single combination between the Decrep and all the magic damage, very effective, very efficient on the map. You're not committing numbers for these ganks. Look for Mickey mid, get some mana burn. Quinn again diving very deep.
Rolling Thunder gets off, but he's already at half health. He's gonna have to run away, especially with Nisha showing himself on a double damage. Nice dead shot to keep him away. They want to make sure the X marks the spot, doesn't hit that Pango and get him pulled back after the Rolling Thunder. Instead, it hits Celery, but immediately pops the Supernova, and they're actually kind of in a bad position here. The Torrent Storm does well. That's going to help. Dead shot, push him back into the silence. Quinn's trying to limp away. That double damage is dangerous, but he doesn't have the attack speed to get the swing in.
Liquid overextending in the river as Ace makes a backswing. Beautiful calling around the egg. That combination is deadly with the attack speed slow, and Radiance right on time at 16 minutes here. This is really damn fast. They gave him so much Ancient priority around that triangle. It's go time for Ace. He needs to take this game over in the next few minutes.
Oh, the sentry in the corner. Boxy, no doubt he doesn't know exactly where that ward is. He's going to try and get out of the way, but the Plasma will nix him, and the Radiance will burn him down.
And that's a 3x streak, so more gold into Ace's pocket. Already back up to 1,000 directly after that reveal. That's just not a fight Liquid were willing to take, because the Tidehunter was also taking a tier 2 bottom.
Oh, like, wow.
Zai is your biggest team fight presence right now with Blink, Meteor Hammer, Ravage. He took a tier 2 bottom. He's really happy about that. You get it for free, but not if you're giving up heroes in the river at the same time. And remember, a lot of this game to me is about the Lone Druid pace versus how much the Tidehunter make the fights.
Blink gets disabled. He is tanky though. Making his way back to the tier 2. Nisha's here on top of that one. He's going to throw on. Oh, what a hit!
It hit
what a big
them all.
With the follow-up of the boat. Isn't enough burst damage though. It's not quite enough. They need a little bit more. The heals start coming in onto Nisha. They prioritize keeping people alive while Zai jumps forward to try and finish up this bear. And the bigger bear, Quinn, rolling interception, trying to stop these heroes from pushing it, but they kill the bear and the big one, and they both go down together. Gaming Gladiators will lose both their supports and this Lone Druid that they have funneled so much gold into.
That was your big Lone Druid Radiance fight, and it went horribly wrong as Zai just ravages your entire team into the boat in the Torrent Storm. Look at the damage output from this Kunkka right now. You were asking what that Torrent Storm can do. That is exactly what it can do. Yeah. Send you back to your fountain packing, as the damage is just ramping up way too fast here for Liquid. And normally this is where gaming, they'd have a bunch of sustain, they'd have a Sunray, they'd have this big Lone Druid who's healing off, dealing damage to heroes. I mean, the sustain is not nearly enough right now as you just walk into a hammer. This hammer also hit on 3 plus a bear, by the way. That is some insane value coming out from Zai, who just walks it off and says, all right, team, I set the plate. Come and feast.
I love the fact that he jumps back in. Bold, knowing the fact that, you know, once he hits him with that anchor smash on the Lone Druid, it really doesn't do that much anymore. Not to the Tidehunter anyway.
Another reason to go this Radiance build, right? Then maybe you don't care about the anchor smash as much. You have a bunch of bonus damage on the bear and you get this burn going through.
Yep.
It's one of those matchups that's been played for a very long time. So far, I feel like Zai is doing so much with the start he's had to deal with. He's paid it back already. Itemization, early blink, doing some work. As Gaming will continue to look for this BKB on Dyrachyo so they can just man up in the fight. You know, that fight might be a different story if Dyrachyo is able to commit there, be in that engagement, and have his presence felt, right?
Yes.
But it's just how Razor functions. You need BKB to go into this fight. Otherwise, you're just stuck on the Torrent Storm with everybody else.
Gaming Gladiators not shying away from aggression, though. Now that the Ravage Dawn's cooldown, they continue to play on the same part of the map that they're trying that last fight into. Want to take down a tier 2.
They're still quite strong at fighting around Ace if the fight develops in the way they want, which is a defensive egg, baiting some liquid heroes in, you get a calling around it, somebody gets dead shotted, somebody else is rooted or ward. There's a lot of teamfight disruption pre-BKB that Liquid has to deal with, particularly on their 2 big beefy frontliners. This Sunray plus the Radiance burn, it's going to add up, plus Pango poking through with some swashbuckles and the mana burn. This is a smart push, and you're still looking for Roshan in this game. That's the biggest objective for Gaming, to throw on this type of group up push lineup. When you take that and what you do with it, vital to your game plan here as the Liquid ball continues to grow. And of course, Mikke is just having a free-for-all in these Ancients, man. He's continuing to climb the levels. Level 16 on this Luna right now, 3 ahead of the next on Gaming. That is the power of Ancient Camps and stacking them.
Yeah, that one death early on. The only kind of action he's really had to worry about. Dyrachyo again. This is the second time in this series that he's picked up his BKB and immediately has to use it defensively.
It's just not what you want.
Trying to jump onto Quinn. Once again, the X stops the Rolling Thunder. The burst magic damage is so good against this Pango. They have just enough disables and just enough magic damage to finish him off.
That was perfectly executed. You cannot ask for any better timings there on the X-Torrent. Not an easy kill either, and right around tier 2 for Gaming. So if that game goes wrong, it can go really wrong. Aggressiveness paying off here for Liquid, and just so much space for the Luna. Absolutely untouched in this game.
And Liquid, it felt like that Ravage fight earlier. Gaming Gladiators, if they don't lose that fight, they take a tier 2. Maybe they could take the Roshan after taking that tier 2, but now it's switched over to the Radiant side here, and Liquid had that lane pushed in. They're going to take full advantage of it, and Gaming Gladiators, they know what's going on, but with Quinn dead, they just can't get there in time, not with their full force.
Not a Roshan you wanted to give up if you're Gaming with this Lone Druid timing. One Mikke is happy to take, a bit easier this time, claiming that Aegis.
Avery, this is looking like a Liquid who could hit high ground pretty damn soon.
Yeah, they can. They absolutely have a lot of push power behind the beefy frontliners in the Pugna. That's what they like about this lineup. You can take the push to Gaming, and sometimes these push lineups don't deal well with getting pushed back. It's one of their weaknesses.
Unfortunate bit of RNG there. I think Gaming Gladiators would have definitely wanted the Phoenix to get the shard. Instead goes to the Muerta. But here comes that push. Liquid gonna start taking more tier 2 towers. We'll see how bold they are when it comes to hitting the early high ground.
Maybe how bold Zai is in terms of willing to jump. Because you can let the Luna push these objectives, but you do kind of want to just blink Ravage and take the fight.
Sure.
You feel like you can burst a big core target. Nonetheless, they'll get a tier 2, open up more of this map, take outpost control, and see how far they press it here. Level 18 on the horizon for Mikke as well. Level 3 Eclipse would feel pretty damn good here if you're going to end up in a drawn-out team fight. They'll switch to the bottom. You can also just siege it up with Pugna, right? I mean, that is an option here.
Yeah.
Alpha Wolf giving Mikke even more damage as well with Pack Leader. This is a strong push. Catapult's going to remain up. I mean, where's the poke? They're letting Liquid get a lot of damage for free here. No swashbuckles, no fire spirits.
Luna Siege, it is all the more dangerous once your tier 3 is down and you start getting those bouncing glaives into play. Exactly. Trying to pull Durachu out of position, almost got him, but he pushed a little bit over to the side instead. Harpoon pulling in the Kunkka. Now
committed rolling.
Follow this one up.
He has no BKB, you gotta remember.
Yeah, there's gonna be Nisha dying straight up immediately. Now Liquid left in a 4 versus 5. He's gonna stand his ground, but Quinn, what a hit on through with a swashbuckle, almost finishing up. The Radiant's gonna run down Mickey on his first life. He's gonna come back and there's nobody left alive. No
absolute disaster.
Whatsoever of Liquid. They are absolutely gonna be losing 4 here and absolutely nothing claimed on the side of Liquid. What a disaster.
Didn't even get to use the Ravage, didn't get Torrent Storm off, didn't use the Luna BKB because what is the point after everybody's dead? That siege went horribly wrong very fast with, I mean, Nisha just being too far up, right?
Yeah.
He ended up in their base almost on the high ground, stuck in a calling, can't really get out, there's no repositioning, there's a single 4-staff on Liquid, that's pretty much it. And you don't have a BKB on Kunkka, so you can't just man up in the front line and all this AoE control. Especially when that bear just starts running at you. That
is a nasty combo, though. The calling on top of the Harpoon. So Nisha really just couldn't get much off there.
I mean, he has Arcane Rune here, so he's like, I want to fight. But yeah, Harpoon drags him in there. He can't even move. That just sets the whole fight up. I thought this Rolling Thunder was a bit early, but of course, no BKB. You can just fully commit, and then you're all clumped on this choke point. Just a disaster on the back line for Box. He can't reposition. That's just an easy fight cleanup for the Pangolier with an Ags delivered at the right time in this game, giving you the extra damage. And all of a sudden,
that's like a
4K
network swing.
Yeah, that was big. Gaming have a lead, in fact, at this point right now. 1K up after that failed push attempt.
Yeah.
That's a big one to give away. This is a lineup that, remember, Gaming were itemizing and building to scale. This is a Razor that can be 5-6 slot in this game and be a massive threat. And you're still playing pretty much a single core damage lineup if you're Liquid. It's all in on the Luna. So if you have anti-carry heroes in this Razor, in this Morta throwing down a calling, Pangolier disarming you, whatever it is, it's not as easy as last game for Mickey to just 1v5 here.
We've also hit, I think, one of the biggest spikes when it comes to Lone Druid power. 25 minutes. That means you start picking up all these Wraith Bands for your hero with double the effectiveness. You get a huge boost in armor for yourself and your bear. That Luna is not going to be able to deal with the bear nearly as well as she was just 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Things are aligning really well for Ace. I mean, he is still gigantic in this game, right? And the benefit of the Wraith Bands here is he already has his 2 big items completed. So it's not like he's hurting the timing of anything here. He just gets free armor and agi galore. Another Rolling Thunder on Nisha.
Nisha could force Snap up to the high ground. Helped out by the supports. They have the anchor on Quinn, but they don't feel good about taking this one, especially with Duracho getting right in the middle of them with his BKB. They pop the Eclipse still, and Mickey is actually okay with fighting this one for now, but they retreat.
Yeah, but look at Ace.
BKB.
Look at Ace in the back.
Away, and yeah, Ace sees his opportunity. He's going to be able to catch up to Mickey, slow him down. The Torrent Storm trying to help him out. Another 4-staff, but he won't get far enough away. The carry of Liquid is dead for 60 seconds, and they're on the run now. 2 dead. Game and Gladiators playing some clean Dota now after a bit of a rough game 1.
Man, sometimes Ace's positioning on these team fights, he just comes out of nowhere. You don't expect him. He just cleans it up. You think you're okay. You get in one bad trade, and suddenly Luna off the map for 50 seconds here. Another fight where Mickey just doesn't get to show the true power of his hero right now with full Hurricane Pike BKB Eclipse. Just gets the damage pumped into Duracho, and I mean, Duracho doesn't care, right? He knows he has other damage sources in this lineup. As long as he soaks up the Luna BKB, he's probably happy with that exchange, assuming no one dies in a Ravage. And speaking of Ravage, when was the last one, right? It feels like that Ravage top was the last time Zai felt his big teamfight impact felt in this game.
Yep.
We haven't seen one for a while, and the opening just hasn't been there.
And when you don't get that kind of hard initiation, we saw what happened. Game of Gladiators, they saw BKB plus the Shard, the Moonclaves active out for the Luna, and they said, okay, we're not going to make the same mistake of like trying to commit on that hero like we did last time. Duracho learned his lesson. He said, kite it out. That's all we have to do.
If you get it to a point where the BKB is down for Mickey, you don't have anything on the other cores, but Rolling Thunder becomes a big problem. You're just going through with this Ags, burning everybody's mana. There's no control for it. We see Zai throwing the anchor out on Quinn. I mean, yeah, that's great when it expires, but only if you can punish him when it expires. The whole duration, it's going to be free. And Lone Druid, he's becoming a problem in this game. If you don't burst him off the Ravage, he gets true form off. He's incredibly tanky in these engagements.
Yeah, 2 Wraith Bands before that fight. After it, he's now got 4. Big armor upgrade. 27 armor now on the bear, and his hero has 25. So they're mitigating most of the physical damage coming their way.
double neutral item as well.
Be big pickup. They need that initiation. We talked about it. Getting a jump on a Quinn would have been the best, but they know Quinn was a target. The supports protect him.
And they also know that this dead shot hit. Another thwarted jump for Zai, who did finish that pipe. It's a great pipe game if you can use it. And the best way you use it is you push. But are Liquid confident enough to just push straight up right now? I mean, they're sieging high ground with Pugna. This is pretty ballsy, especially with how that last push went. They don't even have Aegis here.
Yeah, seriously. But they do the damage pretty quickly, and they got the glyph out. So now, Gaming Gladiators are put in a position where if they mess up this next team fight, they could be losing 1, maybe even 2 lanes of barracks.
That was a value glyph. Absolutely value here. Gaming, they're smoked. They wanted to flank. Wanted to backstab that push from Liquid. You know if they get on the back line, they're happy with the fight. You take this Pugna and Ench out. Daracho, he is just going to run in. Man does not give a damn.
He gets ravaged.
Or does
he?
They
burst him down in time. The Rolling Thunder is going to try and stop things, and Daracho gets off his BKB. Now he's going to be able to fight back. Mickey forcing forward, trying to put the damage onto Daracho, but underneath the Supernova, there's Dragon's Eye back into it, and Mickey has to start running away, but the bear is on the other side.
Clean it house.
Sandwiches Liquid in this, and they are done for in this fight. They cannot stop the bear. Liquid, another aggressive engagement from them, another utter disaster. They trade 1 for 5. They don't need the Razor to hit high ground. The bear is coming to clean house.
Oh, he's coming. That is just a clump that you did not want to have happen there. You're stuck in the calling, stuck in the Sunray, stuck in the egg. Pango rolling through all of it. These choke points have been a nightmare for Liquid, as the AoE is just fully controlling them. And that's why Daracho just runs in here. Didn't even get the BKB off before the Ravage, but there's no chain stun that comes out. And all of a sudden, you're stuck down this ramp, and this is not where you want to be if you're Liquid, right? If Mickey cannot man up and kill that egg, which he didn't want to because there's a drain coming out on this Razor, you're in trouble. You're in absolutely big trouble here, as he is not strong enough to fight the Razor through 90% of his HP and the bear through potentially a resummon.
Speaking of that bear, that's going to be the casualty of this push from Gaming Gladiators. They do not manage to get the melee barracks, but obviously a massive win for them nonetheless. Tier 2 and Tier 3 go down. And soon a Scotty on the table for Gaming Gladiators. That's going to make the Luna's life so much harder. We're already seeing that the damage is running out a bit for this Luna. You get hit by that attack speed slow, which is twice the effective on range heroes. That's going to be rough.
The attack speed slows have done work for Gaming.
Yeah.
The Fire Spirits, the calling, stacking these up. Honestly, Tofu has been a big problem in the fight for Liquid, just committing into Morta in these types of positions. It's deadly. It's very difficult unless you have multiple spell immunity, and right now the pipe is just not keeping them alive long enough to man up versus the multiple physical damage sources. This is why this type of lineup for Gaming scales a lot harder into the late game than the previous one. They're not relying on some single target magical burst. If you can deal with that, the fight becomes easy. You have to deal with 3 cores who are all scaling up here, have pretty good synergy with the minus armor coming through from Eye of the Storm, and potentially 2 bears if Base can stay alive, which so far they have not been close to jumping him and killing him first. His positioning has been very strong. Throwing Aegis on top of this might just be too many lives to get through. Can Liquid make magic happen around the pit once more? They're late to the party this time. No blind 3-man torrent for you.
They're still going to try and take a fight. Though it seems like Gaming Gladiators are aware of this situation. They are going to be pushing in.
It's all on Zai. You need a good Ravage jump on support.
And he gets the creep initiation. It's just the Phoenix and maybe that lone druid. Backline still got up the Supernova, and now comes the Rolling Thunder. The egg dies, but are you going to be able to fight this one? Once again, they're trying to kite out this BKB of Mickey. Daracho's in deep, though, wanting to make use of this Aegis. Clear space for the rest of the team.
Oh, that Torn Storm.
Disarming a lot of them. Torn Storm bouncing off Gaming Gladiators up
Bear dead.
And this team fight is too much.
No summon.
The bear dies before Daracho's back into play. Well, they're running out of firepower. Mickey's low, but he's getting the heals out from Boxy. Is he able to stay alive here? Another tidal wave coming in, trying to help him out. The disarm helps a bit, but they realize it. They have run out of power. They start retreating. They cannot save Mickey. They'll leave whoever is left behind. It's going to be 3 down on the side of Liquid, but it was a fair engagement to them. They were trapped up against an Aegis, and they still managed to do okay.
I mean, honestly, a pretty damn good fight for Liquid. They get a buyback off the Celery Phoenix. Egg went off, so that engagement started off pretty rough. You have to commit longer with your BKBs and just sit there while Durachio's linking you. And yeah, you get the Aegis off Durachio, so you eliminate some of that high ground pressure. Ace going down as well. Big pick up there. He did not have a resummon to take the longer end of that fight. And you got to remember, you're down to 10 or 12K going into this, right? It's just all Kunkka in that engagement. Torrent Storm did mad work.
Problem's going to be is this fight, the end result is not good enough for Liquid to change the narrative of this game. Gaming Gladiators are still going to hold a pretty decent lead here and still have pretty good map control off of just having enough heroes up. Durachio, I mean, great Torrent Storm, better Tidal Wave. I mean, that was a sick combination.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn also gets cheese off there, right? If he gets maybe hit by one more of those Torrents and goes down, that's a different fight as well. You might get out of there with Mickey. The fact Quinn gets a full second life, full refill here and can take Mickey down at the end. That's what felt good about it for gaming here. 2 lives on 2 cores basically expended. But what can you do? You were not at the Roche in time, which means you rather fight here than at your base, right?
Yeah. And you also took down probably the most important hero to bring down first, the Lone Druid. So even if you do lose that fight, it's not going to be able to take your buildings immediately. All they lost was a tier 2, but Gaming Gladiators still have the 13K gold lead, and now they have the Aya Scotty. They didn't have that one in the last team fight. That bear has become significantly tankier and much worse for the Luna to deal with.
Got 5,000 HP with 26 armor here.
Oh yeah.
He's going to harpoon you, he's going to slow you, he's going to provide the mischance. This is the Lone Druid problem right now. Do you try and burst Ace off a jump, or do you just deal with him? Whew. Yeah, that win probability has spiked significantly after that Roshan. We're still looking for the next item for Mickey, by the way. This has been about 10 to 12 minutes. He's trying to build this butterfly. He is struggling.
Yeah, he is. At this rate, he's going to get that butterfly, and we may see the MKB counter coming in from Gaming Gladiators pretty quickly. Butterfly is here, though, so they have a window, perhaps, where the evasion can come into play.
You need to make sure the positioning is on point here when you jump with the Ravage, because the chain stun limitation is also something that's hurting Liquid on these goes. Like we saw there, they got an egg off, because what's your chain stun off Zai's jump? It's potentially a Torrent if you can line it up, and a Lucent Beam. That's it.
Well, there's a little bit more chance of chaining that stuns with a refresher done for the Kunkka. So we're going to have double Torrent Storms going on.
That's one way to control the fight. If you get to the other side of the Razor BKB, there's not much else outside of the Rolling Thunder, of course. That's going to save these heroes in double Torrent Storm. Cannot underestimate it, but you need to make sure Mickey is up, right? You need to align the control with the damage here for Liquid. Protect Mickey, get him to a point in the fight where the Torrent Storm and the Ravage are controlling heroes while the Luna's hitting them. Sounds a lot easier than it is at this point, when Gaming can just run a frontliner in like Durachio or Quinn and not care about anything. Of course, if you can find the supports, that's a big ticket as well. Taking this Muerta or Phoenix out of the fight opens it up a lot, especially when you know Celery does not have buyback here for 4 more minutes.
And he's going to try and protect that situation by getting an Aeon Disc. He's already bought out for it, so chance of you getting this guy before he gets off Supernova, I think, are pretty low, but we'll see.
Nisha shows on a D ward off the gate, so Gaming are aware Liquid are in the bottom of the map. Smoke will wear out as well. Triple 4-staff for Liquid, so they have some kiting potential.
Yeah,
and Ace, gonna need it.
If they know that, hey, hit the high ground really, really quickly, and you can get some buildings before they can TP back in time. The range barracks is the first to fall.
Just let the bear do the dirty work here.
Yep. The bear is perhaps expendable, though it does give up 300 gold. They've got a second one. This is a little bit of a dangerous point, though. Worst part would be losing your bear a second time, and then there goes 20,000 of your net worth.
You can't siege. Upside of taking that fight outside the Roche pit as well, right? You got rid of this mega Aegis period that would have caused you some high ground potential problems. We should mention, however, that Tofu has picked up a full BKB, so he has started his path towards true 4th core status, which I think is something that really cements these games in the current meta when they go ultra long. I'm not saying this game's going to go 80 minutes, but if it does, you know, having a carry Muerta in your pocket, not too shabby.
Certainly helps.
And he's far. He's like 2K behind Zai here.
Zai, who's about to complete a Shiva's here pretty soon, so get some attack speed slow on their own side.
It's a very valuable Shiva's game. He's going to buy out for it. Martyr's played as well. Tide very tanky right now, but not if he just gets linked and gone on by the Razor. And of course, we saw Dyrachyo pick up the Refresher. This is the Razor dream right now. Double Satanic, double BKB, going in with a double Eye of the Storm. He will absolutely decimate the fight if he gets away with it.
How do you feel like this Razor scales? I'm looking at that level 25 talent. That looks so scared. He starts taking away attack speed too.
I think he's scaling like a beast in this game.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to deter him. If your Luna were ahead and can provide a big enough threat with something like Daedalus, a Refresher, some Ags into your eating, okay, maybe you can take that type of fight, right, with multiple Force Staffs kiting out the links.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that deals with Razor scale is survivability, either in utility or being able to stand your ground and fight him back. Lotus Orb is another big one here if Liquid can get it. But they don't really have natural Lotus Orb buyers. It's the downside of their lineup right now. Both these squishy supports don't really want to build it. The armor's not that great on them. And both these frontliners, they just need better items to be able to sustain the damage. So you're not ever reflecting Link in this game, which is, you know, breathing room for Dyrachyo. He runs in, he links anybody. You're getting a Link. Just a matter of Force Staff potentially breaking it and resetting the fight. They'll continue to scout out the map here, try and get the lanes in. And farm it up. It will be that MKB for Ace to deal with the butterfly on Mickey. I mean, if you're Mickey, you just want at least one good fight out of this butterfly.
Yeah, but how do you actually get out there and do it?
If Games don't push your high ground, which it looks like they don't want to do without Roshan, then it's going to be that Rosh contest, right?
Yeah. Almost feels like Liquid are going to have to bank on a fast Roshan. Otherwise, that MKB could be done before the Roshan actually spawns. It's got 4K in the bank right now. Third Rosh, it actually spawns instantly for them. So
is going bottom, however, it's going to shift to daytime here. I mean, it's good for gaming with the buyback potential on the outpost, but they don't have it on Dyrachyo. They don't have it on either support. So there's some jump burst potential from Liquid. Take advantage of the lack of buybacks right now if they want to take the gamble.
There is a double damage on Dyrachyo.
Yeah, there's also that looming in the bottle right now. And he's just ninja gearing in.
Zai puts himself on the front lines. They're immediately going to pounce onto him. Seeing if they can chase him down, slow him down, pull him back in as much as possible. They're trying to reset. He did manage to get a blink away. So they are really resetting off this one. The refresh immediately puts to use. Dyrachyo,
it's a man fight.
One fight against Mickey. He's going to be able to win it. He is. No problems there whatsoever. And he doesn't give a damn about your water park ride, Mr. Kunkka. He's going to fight through this one. Oh, the rap's coming up. He's going to maybe be alive. He gets a little bit of life going out, but Dyrachyo is still up. The last little bit of damage coming out from Insania is not going to be enough. Dyrachyo this time. He mans up this time. He challenges Team Liquid, and he is the one left still standing in the end.
Puts Mickey in the dirt with that second BKB. No way Luna wins that man fight in round 2. It was good kiting initially from Liquid, but the longevity here in the items, the Satanic, and this Razor aggression has paid off in game 2.
And with the bear, they can end it right here, right now. Liquid, they don't have the buybacks. I think they're just hoping Gaming Gladiators don't actually go for the throat.
Not even close to buybacks. This is a game 2 win for sure here. So we're going to get a game 3 between these two teams. An absolute beauty of a series right now as Gaming strike back with a lineup that very